Everybody, Mega Ruler 31 back here for FSI DFS. Welcome to day number 152 of Major League Baseball. Or 38 more days we have to play to get our DK achievements at 190. Just funny how the true Iron Men can play 162 games in a season and like Cal Ripken and not miss a game and get their achievement, but we have to go 38 days or 28 days past that. But whatever. FSI DFS, we're here, we're committed, we're ready to get you through the rest of the season and the postseason. I know football's starting up and some other things for the fall, but we'll be here consistently trying to help you guys out and girls out playing DFS. So, decent slate today. We've got 12 games. It's well, we'll have to enjoy these last few large slates, because sometimes, like, once it gets into September and football starts, like Major League Baseball just starts slicing things up and things start getting a little bit weird. We're starting to hit some weather issues again with like rain. It's been a pretty dry summer. I haven't had to worry about too many things, and at least it hasn't been a huge hurricane season, because that's wrecked my fantasy playoffs teams a couple times in September, where you didn't see like a storm was coming, you set your lineup, and then all of a sudden, like by the end of the week, like 3 straight games are rained out in a series, and it's just chaos. So let's get to today's slate. So we do have a couple of rain concerns. I do live in the Northeast, and it started raining like on Sunday night. It rained all through yesterday. We got like flood watches and warnings all around. So basically, the East Coast, some of these games are dangerous. Starting with the first one, Minnesota and the Yankees. Joe Ryan and Garrett Cole. I think both pitchers are in play here, especially Ryan, because the Yankees are really banged up. Looks like Rizzo's out again. Benintendi's on the IL now with a broken wrist. And, Judge keeps on hitting, but the rest of the team is really watered down. So I think Ryan is decent here. Yankees only have a 4.13 total. Cole on the other side, again, is in a really good matchup here. These Twins aren't as good without Buxton, but then again, this rain, it really scares me out. So I think I'm just going to kind of fade this game. If something comes up that the weather's clearing, which I doubt it's supposed to rain in this East Coast straight through like Thursday. I don't see how they can get the field ready, and hopefully they call it early so we know what's going on there. Next game of concern is Baltimore and the Blue Jays. You have Mitch White and Kyle Bradish. Both pitchers are okay, but I don't think I really want to play either one of them. White, I like as a cheap pitcher, but Baltimore's offense is really starting to come on and really starting to come together with some of these younger guys in there. And then Bradish on the other side is just not been good. He's kind of a reverse splits guy against a right-handed team. So I have both teams listed 150 max. Just again, I'm just really worried about the weather and how long it's going to rain here on the East Coast, that they won't be able to get it in. Wind is blowing in also, so I don't think it's the greatest hitting weather, but I think Toronto righties would be a great GPP stack. And if you want to stack Baltimore, don't take any one-offs here. You're going to stack them in 150 maxes, or you're just not going to play them at all. But Baltimore's got some good lefties here, like Mullins, Rutschman, Santander is a nice one. Gunnar Henderson, who's hitting fifth, is a great rookie that got called up. At 3.3, it's a really good price on him. So you're really going to have some decent bats there if the weather holds up here. Next game, another weather issue, but it's more wind and cold temperatures. It's going to be cold in Wrigley Field tonight. Game's going to start about 70 degrees and quickly fall off into the 50s. Wind is blowing in about 10 miles per hour. So Justin Dunn is not a good pitcher. Wade Miley is coming back from the IL and is probably going to be on a pitch count. He only went like 3 or 4 innings in rehab starts. So I don't think either pitcher, I mean, they're darts, but there are some other cheap guys that make sense here more, but it is going to be good for pitching. I don't know. Again, we don't know how long Miley's going to go, and Dunn's just been horrible. So, and then when you look at the bats, I have them in the 150 max category again. I guess this is a stack or fade. I mean, Dunn's been horrible, but the Cubs are really banged up. I don't know if it doesn't look like Contreras is back in the lineup, and they've got some other injuries, and the wind's blowing in. It's not great hitting weather, the cool temperatures. So don't know which way this game's going to go. So that's why they're in the 150 max. And that's why both pitchers are maybe GPP darts at most. So next game we have Nationals and St. Louis. We have Espino and Quintana here. Espino, no way. Quintana, I think he's okay against this Washington offense, but they have been putting up some runs with some of the younger guys too. Like Meneses has been like really good. Lane Thomas, don't mind him leading off really cheap there. Like Voit just doesn't seem to be able to hit anything anymore. Cruz, I mean, they're very sporadic here, so I don't think you can make a full stack of Washington. But I think Quinton is in play in the mid range, but I don't think he's a great option. And so Washington bats would be my favorite, or like probably the least favorite cheap one, because Quinton has been good at like just he's not a great DFS pitcher, but he's just like a good real life pitcher and should be able to control this Washington offense. St. Louis, I think, makes one of the top stacks on the slate here against Espino. So definitely like them, depending on who the lineup is. Nootbaar, Donovan, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Dickerson, Gorman, if he's in there at second base, Edmund, no matter wherever he hits, if he's higher up in the lineup, I like him. I'm not going to pay that much if he's batting ninth. So definitely many ways to go there. Cleveland and Kansas City, Shane Bieber and Bubik. I think Bieber would probably be the top pay up pitcher on the slate here, just simply because I don't think Cole's going to go. Kansas City, there's a couple guys here, but there's definitely some strikeouts in the lineup a little bit more than there was, before they brought some of these younger guys in there. Bubik on the other side is not a good pitcher. I don't really love stacking Cleveland, but I like some of, especially at FanDuel. Like Rosario and Gonzalez are like in the 2K range in outfield, and they make some of your higher dollar lineups work there. But I don't think I would really play. I just think I'd like fill in with like maybe a mini stack of the cheaper guys here who are right-handed against Bubik. Shane, like Kansas City, I just really just a leverage spot here and not really interested in them at all. Texas Rangers, Houston Astros, Glenn Otto and Valdez. Otto struggles, so obviously Houston is going to be a really strong stack here again. Super expensive, hard to get in. Kind of like the Blue Jays, you got like 4 guys over 5K now, so it's just like you're really going to have to sacrifice pitcher or really like punt like 2K guys in the rest of your lineup to get them in with like a decent pitcher. So I mean, it's possible today we do have a pitcher that's 4.8 that's in a really good spot, so that opens up a little bit of for you there. So definitely Houston's in play, and Texas Rangers. I don't know if I really want to play them. Valdez on the other side too is like I just don't see the K upside in this Texas lineup that much. They're going to throw some lefties at him. I think he's okay, but 10K, like he's good for a GPP one, but I'd rather play Beaver. I'd play Wright, Musgrove. I mean, there's definitely about 3 other guys in this range and Cole, if he's in play, I think he'd be like 5th. I have him ranked as 3rd right now, but I'm really thinking that I think I'm going to move right up over Valdez, and I think I'll leave him just above Musgrove too, because Texas can be pesky. So Texas, I think, makes a leverage stack, and like I said, Houston's a decent one. Coors Field, we have the Brewers and Rockies, Woodruff and Krul. Woodruff has just struggled recently. I have no interest in him. I know Colorado's not a great hitting team, but I don't really see them doing well here. Maybe a couple one-off guys like maybe McMahon or Rogers, but I don't think the rest of this line, especially the younger guys on the bottom, are really going to make a difference. He had Chad Krul. I don't know why Colorado signed him. I think his primary pitch is like a sinker ball, and sinkers don't sink in the air in Coors Field as well. So it's just you're playing with fire there. So Milwaukee definitely top stack on the slate. I'm off of Yelich. He's been injured and he really hasn't done much recently. But you can play if you want to. I'm probably going to stack like 2 through 5 here, and then I don't know. I'll just have to decide if I want Yelich or not. I'd probably rather have I don't know if I'm McCutcheon. Jace Peterson opens up a lot at 3-3. The catcher Navarez should be in there too at 3-2. So might do a wraparound stack. So we'll have to see. But then again, they're not really priced for Coors. You have Adames at 5.5, the highest price guy, and then the rest of the big bats are in like 4K range, which is awesome for Coors Field. Colorado, like I said, just a couple one-offs there. Detroit and the Angels. Eduardo Rodriguez has been better since he came back on the IL, but so have the Angels since Trout rejoined the lineup. It's really helped solidify things in their hitting, and they're going to throw a lot of righties at him here. So I'm not super interested. Mike Myers, he's a talented guy. He's really cheap here, and it's right-hander against Detroit. So might not get a ton of strikeouts, but at 4.8, he should do enough to make value and is a great option for SP2 tonight. So Detroit bats. Am I going to stack against Myers if he has a ton of ownership? Maybe, but I don't really know who to pick here. Maybe Green, maybe Reyes. Skip Bias. He's just had an off season. Castro, Kerry Carpenter, like just maybe Candelario. Just take some of the lefties in the lineup there. If Badu leads off for some reason, if Green has a day of rest, then he might be in play. But I'm really not super interested. They'd just be, I mean, they are cheap, and maybe be some cheap fill-ins if you're trying to go high price pitcher and like a Houston stack, it might work for you. Angels definitely like Fletcher's really cheap at 3-1, Trout and Otani, and like Ward at 3-2. Duffy here against he's back in the lineup at third base at 2-1 against left-hander. Like he's had a history of hitting really well against them. Stassi is a decent catcher against left-handed at 2-7. So there's definitely some really good options on the Angels here. White Sox and Mariners, Cueto and Gilbert. Mariners are a good hitting lineup, but Cueto is really good at like limited hard contact. Doesn't not gonna get a ton of Ks here, so I think he's definitely in play in GPP. And Lilbert Gilbert on the other side. It seems like Seattle's doing what they did with like Detroit did last year with like Manning and some of their younger pitchers. They started limiting their innings towards the end. We saw it with Kirby, so I just kind of fear that he's not going to go super deep in the game. He might have a decent game, but might not get to where he needs to be just because he doesn't get as many innings. The White Sox have been hot and cold hitting recently. So, I mean, they put up a lot of runs a couple days ago, but then, they're not always consistent. So the White Sox, I think, make the top cheap stack just because, like, Andrews leading off is decent, fills a shortstop. That's usually a hard position to fill if you're paying down, like Sheets in the outfield. So there's a couple one-off plays here. I think I like them better as like cheap pieces and actually a full stack against Gilbert. And then Seattle on the other side is just, probably my fifth favorite GPP stack just because they do have potential, but Cueto just really doesn't get blown up much. So again, this game might just be a cross off. I might take Cueto as a GPP pitcher. Kelly for Arizona against San Diego Padres, Musgrove. Kelly, like San Diego again doesn't strike out, but sometimes they can go cold. They did yesterday. They were the chalk stack on the day and scored 0 runs. So I think Kelly's definitely in play here, potentially more of a GPP. Musgrove, I think, could be a cash pitcher if you want to pay down and save some money there, or be an SP2 candidate if you want to pay up against Arizona. Arizona can put up runs. They'll put up a full lefty lineup there. So Arizona's leverage stack and San Diego. I think it's just a GPP stack against Kelly because he's a decent pitcher and has had a really good season. Braves and Oakland Athletics, you have Kyle Wright and Cole Irvin. Wright, I think, is top pitcher on the slate, point per dollar. He's against Oakland. I think I'm just going to lock him in there. We talked about not overpaying for pitching, and I think Wright's in the sweet spot at 4.7 here in a really good matchup. Cole Irvin on the other side has been pitching decent recently. Braves are a scary lineup, but they do strike out. So I think he's going to play in GPP with for somebody in the cheap range at 7.8. Braves, I think, make a GPP stack. I prefer Colorado and Dodgers over them. And Oakland is definitely in play for cheap leverage. I mean, they're in the cheap one, but they should definitely be the leverage one. They're probably going to be against the most popular pitcher, but I don't think I'm playing much Oakland today unless I'm in GPPs trying to be contrarian and hoping Wright is highly owned and struggled. So I think they go more on the leverage side there. San Francisco and the Dodgers, don't really know who's pitching for San Francisco. I've seen this one guy that they might be calling up for AAA. Sounds like he was from the KBO, but I don't think he was. I think he played in like the rookie developmental league, and I think he's played in the major league a couple years ago, maybe before COVID. From what I've read on him, is decent. I don't have his name listed here. I'm sorry about that. I also see Tyler Rogers listed on some sites at 4K. Maybe he's just an opener. Don't know what the situation is, but I don't think I'm really going to go for it because it's the Dodgers and they're a really decent lineup. Tyler Anderson on the other side. And San Francisco has really cooled off recently with the hitting and everything, but he's not a real high strikeout pitcher and doesn't really super go deep in the game sometimes. So I think he's in play in a medium range, but I don't think I'll be playing too much of him today. San Francisco, I'm okay taking some of the cheap bats against, especially the righties against Anderson here. Just keep in mind they're going to get pinch hit for probably if they bring in a righty out of the bullpen. You'll see some of the lefties take him over in the lineup, and then Dodgers on the other side, I think, make a decent stack. Second favorite GPP next to Colorado. So let's look at some lineups and get you on your way for your day here. So in cash, I'm taking Wright, and I'm going to take Myers. I'm going to take the 4.8 guy. I am going to stack. I do have Yelich in here, but like I said, I'm really debating it. We'll see what's going on there. I might fade him and see who else I can get in the lineup there. So Tellis, Wong, Adames, and Renfroe, definitely guys I'm going for. I think I might fill in with Houston here. I can get Bregman or Tucker Alvarez there, or maybe three of them if I don't play Yelich. Maybe I'll play Jace Peterson at third base. That opened up some salary. I can get both outfielders there. Probably gonna punt catcher, maybe play Maldonado if I can get up to him, or Stasi from the Angels there. On FanDuel, Wright, Tellis, Adames, Renfroe, Oscar Gonzalez, and Rosario. Like I said, those Cleveland guys are up against Bubich, have the splits advantage, and they're relatively cheap there. And then you can figure out who else you want to fill in there, what you want to take as the fourth guy from Milwaukee, and then it opens you up for some one-offs. Or I probably wouldn't go on with the full Cleveland stack there. So then the final one is for GPPs is I'm gonna take Cueto and Kelly. They're mid-range pitchers. I think they're a little bit risky, but I think in a GPP they'll have loan ownership. They could have solid games. Then I'm going to stack St. Louis here. So Goldie, Gorman, Newt Barrow, O'Neill. Figure out who the fifth one you want to take there from up here for Arenado. Then I think I'm going to fill in one off. So I like Andruas as shortstop. That's my favorite guy for there. And then catcher in the other outfield, however you want to go, depending on what your St. Louis stack is. If you don't want to play Arenado, then that opens up some salary. You might not have to play Andruas. You might be able to play a three-man stack from another team. And then finally on FanDuel, I'm taking Mayer. I know he might not get the quality start or anything, but it's just his pricing opens up bats here. It's a GPP. So I'm going to take Goldie. I can get almost a full Houston and St. Louis stack in here. And I really like the bats there and a pitcher that should be able to pay off value. And I think that's decent. So appreciate you watching. And I'm Megruler31. Leave some comments below if you have any questions on the slate. Check back around 6:30 if games are canceled or pitchers change or anything. We try to give you some updates there. And or you can always hit me up at Twitter, Megruler31. If you want more information about FSI DFS and all the things we got going on this fall, check out the description video. Go to our website. You can see all our pricing. It's super, super cheap. Very, very reasonable for lots of coverage. And even with the football, it's not just like some other companies that just give you like the main slate. Like they cover like almost all the slates on Sunday, all the showdowns and everything's like included in one price packaging. We don't have a separate package for showdowns versus like the regular classic slates and everything. So it's all there, very reasonably priced. Lots of options for you. So appreciate you watching. If this helped you out, please like our video, subscribe to our channel so you know the videos come out, and share with your friends. So once again, I'm Megruler31. Good luck in your contest today on the East Coast. Try to stay dry, and I'll see you next time.